So Paul taught you could eat food sacrificed to idols, right? That's what you're saying. Is that your new answer?
By that right there, if I read this right, if I'm looking at this and he's saying, hey, if all the apostles saying, hey, stay away from the pollution of idols, Paul's telling me, hey, don't even ask questions in the shambles. And the things are, we know the things are sacrificed unto idols. There are things sacrificed unto idols being sold into the shambles. We're being told to stay away from the pollution of these idols, right? This is something that Yahweh Shai hates, something that the Most High God hates and has judged people and killed people for. This is why they're asking, because they're asking this question because of their conscience, because they know that eating things sacrificed unto idols is wrong. Paul's telling you, hey, don't do it, not because it's wrong and goes against God, but because of someone else. That's a problem.
What's the problem?
The problem is it should be don't eat it because it's a sin unto death, and God said don't do it, not because of someone else. Then we
What? Are,
also look in First Corinthians 8
let me ask you this. Let me jump in there. What are the greatest two commandments according to Christ?
to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, and soul, and to love thy neighbor as thyself. Of
Did they
course.
say? Did he say that they are one and the same?
He says, on these two hang all the law and the prophets. He says, what the
Did he?
first he was asked was, what is the
I'm
greatest
asking.
commandment?
Are those two? Did he say that the second is like unto it,
It's
meaning
like,
equivalent to it? Did he say that?
it's like unto it. Loving God. Yahweh Shah was asked, what is the greatest commandment, right? And he said, I'll tell you, right? The first is to love that Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, and soul. And the second is like unto it, to love thy neighbor as thyself, right? And on these two hang all
Hmm.
the law and the prophets. If I love the Most High
Hmm.
God, I'm not going to do things that provoke him to jealousy, right? I'm not going to do things that piss
I
him off.
wait. I agree, but what I'm saying is, just so you know,
I'm not finished
the
answering
way
them,
to
bro.
piss him off. Oh, you're not done answering. My bad.
Yeah, yeah, Khan,
Go
right?
ahead.
So if I love the Most High God, I'm not going to break his commandments. I'm not going to do things that piss him off, right? When we look at Deuteronomy 32 and 17, it says that we sacrifice unto devils by sacrificing unto idols, right? What happens with the things that are sacrificed? They are eaten by the people. So if I eat that thing that is sacrificed unto the idol, it pisses the Most High God off. Not only that, right? If I love my neighbor, I'm not going to suffer sin upon him. And what is sin? Transgression of the law. The law tells us not to eat things sacrificed unto idols, not to be partakers with idols. Very, very simple.
It's not simple. You're making it complicated, and the reason why I asked that
How is that
question is
complicated?
because I'm about to explain, right? So the reason why I asked you about those laws is because you're saying he should have said this, but he said it for this reason. He said it because of the brother's sake, but he didn't say it was Yahweh's. It was because of Yahweh's sake, and he said don't do it. It's the same thing. Is the point? If the second is like unto it, to love your neighbor as yourself. So he's speaking of the liberty that you yourself have, but also keeping that liberty in check to not offend your brother, because my position is it does not offend God. So then when you kind of are tying in all these laws about, sacrificing to devils and not to God. Eating food sacrificed to idols. Let's just say it on, let's just call it on his face. Eating food that somebody else sees as sacrificing to idols is not what sacrificing to idols is. You're not in violation of that law. And this is what Paul is teaching. Paul's teaching the understanding of what it means to eat food sacrificed to idols, what it means to sacrifice unto devils and not unto God, and also what it doesn't mean. What you're doing is taking what it doesn't mean and pontificating that that's what it does mean, and it does not mean that. This is our part. This is our part of impasse. What you think eating food sacrificed to idols is not what I think it is. It's not what Paul thinks it is. And what Paul is saying, God is not offended. He's not made jealous because somebody else offered a piece of chicken to idols, and then you came by unbeknownst to them or the situation and ate of it. You are not polluted or defiled. Now I do want to go back to that word that you brought up several times, just because I keep forgetting to address it. That word for pollutions. It's interesting that you're missing the point there. In that definition, you can go back there and see it says ceremonial. Ceremonial. meaning that the pollution is in context of a ceremony. Hey, come eat Thanksgiving, and then everybody comes around the table and we say, I'm thankful for this and I'm thankful for that. And it's a ceremony. That's what it's going into. That's what that word is into. It's not just saying, hey, once they pray over it, that food is defiled. It's now polluted, and no man can touch it lest you're defiled. It doesn't mean that. That's what people are teaching that it means, though. That's why you have the understanding. That's why the zealots were so upset with Paul. That's why people were upset because they didn't understand the wisdom. They're puffed up with knowledge and thinking that they know what the law is talking about. And Paul is saying, no, you don't. You don't get it. It doesn't mean that. This is what the law means. People forget that Paul is a doctorate. He's a top scholar of the law. He knows it better than all of us on stage. I don't think that we're in a position to even question his understanding of the law. He's so much superior to us in the understanding of all these matters, and he would be laughing at us right now. Like these people really don't still get it 1,000 years later.